Hello everyone, I'm Cherian Jacob. You might be wondering, if you would have seen any of my past videos, what this guy is talking about, because I am speaking in my mother tongue, that means the language, one of the Indian language, Malayalam. So today I thought I should share something with you, all of you, because we need everyone's support. As many of you know, all of you know, right, India is a democratic country. And we have the amazing freedom of, right to express the views, right to believe in what we want. And this is truly amazing, what is being given to all of us. But we are going through a struggle right now in India, especially in the state of Kerala. So as a part of the freedom when it came, there are certain things need to be fulfilled by the appropriate states, and especially when it comes to the faith and the religion, and especially how to monitor and how to administer the properties belongs to different groups, because in India we have all kinds of the faith and beliefs and different kinds of community. So the central government didn't intervene into such things. Individual states fulfill their responsibility. But for whatever reasons, there was no law enacted to administer the Christian church properties. Now, Christian missionaries were there. They made a humongous, difference for our community and the development and enriching our people, in past many centuries. But what was missing, that since there is a lack of a common law, every church, they manage the properties the way they wanted, and the hierarchies become more powerful, and individual congregations didn't get the kind of freedom what they want. And last 1 century, there was a case going on between two factions of a same church. A Syrian Orthodox Church in India, they had a different in view. Everything is arised out of the the money and the church and the property and everything. Now, after a century, the government there was so many times they had an opportunity to settle the difference, but they didn't. And finally, the Supreme Court of India got involved, and Supreme Court cannot enact a law. They can only use an existing law which is available. And since there was a lack of a proper common law available, they somehow used one of the church's constitution as kind of official, and they made that all the church under these two factions need to be administered using that law. For the rest of the world, it might occur, yeah, that's a great idea, it should be like that. But in fact, I too feel like that. But the problem is the other church on the other side, what they used is, they used that law and misinterpret that law to confiscate the churches, the cemeteries, and all the properties belongs to the other group. And I become one of the person on the victim side of the. This could have been managed effectively. The people who got an opportunity to administer the whole church should have been more generous to create an empowering context so that we could live with harmony. You know, this is more than a century old problem. I was not born in 1912 where this fundamental issue between these two churches happened. Now I am 50 years old, more than 50 years old, and I just cannot keep seeing this going further. One of the struggle what we see is that the people, they become very sentimental when it comes to the faith. They believe that they were being not treated and they haven't given an opportunity to, you know, to their views, and I do agree on that to a certain extent. It is mainly because the people who were supposed to manage the, you know, the case, they never, there was a lack of communication between the people and the church hierarchy. So church hierarchy thought everything will go fine, but everything went totally wrong. Now we are in a kind of chaos. So we need help. But unfortunately, being a Supreme Court order, you cannot do anything. But Supreme Court itself, especially Honorable Judge Arun Mishra, I don't think he ever thought this will come into this kind of a chaos. He thought, you know, the church belongs to Jesus Christ. That's where he is. He is a Hindu person. He doesn't know what is the, you know, the intricacies of the church and the Bible and everything. He did what he could, but people misuse it. Within the church, they misuse it. Now we are, the common people are in a big trouble. There was, you know, whenever someone dies from the other faction, the people who got the power, they stop, you know, providing them kind of assistance, and they don't let them bury based on the faith and the ritual. And these guys will, the other side, yeah, we will also say the same kind of prayers, but according to the other faction, they feel like, they not only they feel, they don't have ecclesiastical succession based on the faith. And when it comes to the faith, court is kind of unable to handle. This is a international human rights violation right now going on. Those people, when they are dying, the other side use this as a weapon, so that eventually everyone will sign into their law and follow their order. And that is creating a lot of struggle for all of us. I don't want to drag this conversation too much. There was a, you know, old lady, a grandma who died 17 days back, and her husband was buried in a cemetery. And that cemetery, that particular, the tomb was being privately, occupied by this family. But since the other faction, they got the power, they denied the burial. And government involved, the court involved, nothing is happening. There's a lot of settlement try to happen, but now they couldn't bury that body. So they kept the body in front of their house, creating a concrete, enclosure, and they put the body within that. They said, until we get our, right to bury our loved one in a place where her husband was buried, they are not agreeing. Now, this is where I was expecting that an olive branch, can be extended. real olive branch. This could have been a simple thing. What is this? All the burial grounds technically belongs to the government, because government only the custodian of all the cemeteries. Because once a person died, who will be speaking? According to international law and customary practices, the law of the land should prevail. But unfortunately, the churches, taking advantage of their power within the community, and they are using it. And this is where we want everybody to step in and raise their voice that this can be prevented, this need to be ended. Because we need decency, we need every human being deserve a right to a decent burial, if the person is died. And we, the living, need to speak for the dead, and the law should speak for them. Unfortunately, the corrupt law, corrupt people and the system, we are struggling, and the net effect is there is no peace, harmony and happiness right now within the church, other than hate and hatred is what is being happening every day. So what is the solution? The government of Kerala, it is the state of Kerala, understood this issue long back, and they created a law called Church Act of 2009. It is drafted by the former justice, and he was one of the prominent person who understand the difference between the churches. And the way he organized that Church Act is the property and everything will be handled by the individual congregations. That's a fair deal, so that the hierarchy could focus on the spiritual matters, right? So that they could serve what Jesus Christ told them to do. Instead of handling the churches, instead of handling the money matters within the church, and trying to create the schools, the colleges, the hospitals, and all the kinds of things, which is not what Jesus Christ asked them to do. So the government could enact this law, but the government is struggling because they will lose power, because this is a big lobby. The moment the government enact that law, they will try to kick them out from the power. That's what their fear is. So it is time that we need to demonstrate that yes, you can go ahead and enact this law, and we have full support. And they will be recognized as one of the extraordinary, courageous people who made a huge difference for the community. And I want everybody to step up the game and convey the government of Kerala to enact the Church Act 2009 drafted by Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer and his team. That is something, a very balanced act. The documentation is available. Once this conversation is done, I can share that also with you. And the world need to tell them that it is none of the business of the church to administer the money matters. We want accountability, transparency and responsibility when it comes to the monetary aspects. We need to be genuine. We need to eradicate corruption within the church. We need this power lobbies go away, and we need the rule of the church, of the God's mission need to be fulfilled. That means we need to take care of the poor. We need to help others. But all these schools and colleges, what churches has created, now it's not accessible to normal human being. It's becoming very expensive. Only their relatives and the people who belongs to the church hierarchy could get anything, any benefit from this one. So it is time that we need to bring accountability, transparency, and being a role model for the rest of the world. And I request all of you to share your thoughts and prayer for the people who are right now undergoing this crisis, and also speak for the transformation in India, especially in the state of Kerala, where we all the communities wanted a transformation. We don't want the church to go to the court and keep fighting between and creating divisions within the church. We want the church to fulfill the needs of the people and fulfill the mission of the church. That means, to take care of everybody and to be a stand and be be compassionate, be everything what Jesus Christ told them to do, so that the world would be a better place for everybody. And thank you very much for your time. I know you don't need to listen to this conversation, but you did it very, very seriously. And I am from my bottom of the heart. Thank you, all of you, for your support for this mission. And pray for the people who are participating in the there was a peaceful march organized on November 27th in Kerala, in the capital city Trivandrum, between the Raj Bhavan, that is the house of the office of the governor, to the secretariat where the legislative assembly is being held. So there is already a protest right now going on, an indefinite strike, wherein which some of our bishops are participating and doing an indefinite strike to implement this bill. Please share your thoughts. Please share your support for Church Act 2009, for the betterment of humanity and for a full peace within the church in Kerala. Thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of the day. Thank you.